We were empty nesters at the time. But shortly after hosting Nicky for the week that we had him, we fell in love with him, and we both decided that we wanted to adopt him.
Our second child was a social orphan and had a lot of abuse in his life, and he also lived on the streets and begged, and he learned how to survive and to manipulate, and he came with all those traits to our family. So every day, probably every day since he's been here, has been a challenge with him.
At one point, he said something to me that was kind of disrespectful, and he went to walk away. And I went up and I grabbed his shoulder. You know, I just wanted him to turn around to talk to me because he was ignoring me. I had something further to say. And I didn't realize what an effect that had on him. You know, and after we calmed down later and talked about it, he says, "Don't ever grab me like that." He says, you know, I just can't deal with that.
Well, he said that his father used to pick him up by the hood of his sweatshirt and hold him, and he said he can't stand anything around his neck. So when Dave went to grab him, it kind of pulled his sweatshirt back a little bit, and he had a response that was bigger than really it should have been. I am just not sure what to do with our new child. He is so different than the other two. He closes up, and he talks back, and he calls you names, and he does things that causes your defenses to go up, and you think, well, I just don't want to be close to him. He's going to be like this to me, then I'm not going to get hurt. Well, some of the issues that we've dealt with are...
We've had the police called on us. We've called the police. We've dealt with a lot of anger issues, some minor damage, you know, holes in the drywall, getting called by the school system.
Many times.
Yeah.
Lying.
Lying.
And manipulating. And you know, they all have great qualities. I mean, we're not sorry we did it at all. And I see progress with our second one. Even though we're still going through issues, I think he really is 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you know. And the youngest remains to be seen.